What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my, you know how it goes. So I want to do a quick update on that last video I made. But before I get into that, I'm gonna go live tonight. So it'll be Sunday the 10th at 6 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be the first time I ever went live. So bear with me if I, kind of screw it up a little bit. I've never really done it. So we'll give it a try. You're always welcome to help me out on that whole deal as we go with it if you feel like tuning in. So we'll do that later on tonight. But I wanted to talk about these numbers, man. I got some information back. And, remember when I made that video yesterday, or I posted that video yesterday, I said I was contemplating it, brothers. I didn't say I was about ready to go jump into it this year. It was something I was thinking about maybe doing like next year. I understand that the freaking markets and shit, honestly, makes me a little bit nervous. This whole thing obviously has made me a little bit nervous. That's why I ended up going Nomad to cut my expenses so that I could get my bullshit paid off, because I bought a Harley and I bought a pickup and I bought my daughter a brand new car and all this shit because I was making motherfucking money, So I got an email back from the dealership, right? And it turns out I didn't get the full information back from Ryder yet, but I got some information from Ryder. And Penske actually is running a better deal. But this deal that the dealer dude has here is not great, but it's not horrible. And it's a lot better than Ryder and them have to offer, right? So he's got a 2022 Freightliner Cascadia sitting there, right? It's got 200,000 miles on it. That's not that many miles for one of these trucks, all right? So the monthly payment on that sucker would be $3,200 a month. It is a bit high, I get it, I understand. But I could switch that technically if I put more down. That was with the amount of down payment that I was willing to do on it. And that is not a full maintenance lease. You're still required maintenance, right? Alright, so there's your truck payment, $3,200 a month. Now everything I got going on right here, first of all, is just a super rough draft, right? Like I just literally sat here, buzzed all this down out of my head, hit fucking record on this camera. So some of this might be a little bit wrong. And I know there's things in here that I don't know about because I'm not an owner operator and I don't own a company. So if there's things you know about, like bobtail insurance or whatever, shit like that, throw it in the comments, man. Help me out. I'm more than likely not going to be doing this. You'll see why here in a minute. Now, I haven't heard back from a couple companies that I got a hold of as far as signing on with them. That would obviously change a bunch of these numbers right here if I signed on with them. So get to the numbers. This is based on 2,800 miles per week. That's a pretty good average. You might do a little bit lower than that, but you might do higher than that too. It's just kind of a basic average. So that gives you 11,200 miles per month, right? So you got your 3,200 for your fucking truck payment. I figured on the fuel, I figured about 2,000 gallons a month driving. That's running around 6 to 8 miles a gallon, somewhere in there. And that's what these get, And then I figured about 300 gallons of idle in it, because I'd be living in the truck or running the APU, either way. So that comes out to like 2,300 gallons, right? That's $11,040 a month. Holy fuck, no wonder everyone's bitching about the fuel, right? I don't pay for the fuel, man. I just swipe my fucking card. So, I get it. I know it's high, but I never really actually sat here and looked at how high all this shit is, to be honest. I've been kind of a dick about it, to be honest. And then you jump to your maintenance, right? I went real high on all this shit. I actually think maintenance would probably be more like 10 cents a mile. Because I had this Freightliner Cascadia once. I've had several trucks, but just to give you an example, I got this brand new 2019 Freightliner Cascadia once when I worked at MDT, and I put like 480 or 490,000 miles on it, and that bitch only broke down twice. And it was DEF both times, and the one time was because my bunk heater was out and I had to idle the truck, and that fucks up the DEF system. So that one, I've had other trucks I put 300,000 on, another one I put 400,000 on, and like the one broke down, the one never broke down the entire time I had it. So I got it based at 25 cents a mile for maintenance, which is pretty high, but either way, the number on that is $2,800 a month. So even with that high, that $2,800 a month ain't touching that $11,000 in fuel, right? I did about 15, I threw out some emails to some insurance companies and got a basic idea on that. They were really talking around 8 to 10 cents a mile for insurance. But you know how all that shit goes. That changes when you actually get ready to sign all the stuff. So I did 15 cents a mile on insurance. Comes out to $16.80 a month. I put in some, various road expenses, your permits, tolls, like fucking Oregon, to go in there, you got to pay $600 for fuel, and I think Arkansas or something else is like that, Nevada, something. So just miscellaneous tolls and all that shit, $560. Technically, now that I'm sitting here looking at that, that would probably be a little bit higher, really, because fuck, you run some of these toll roads, man, it costs a fortune. And then for me, right, I just did a fixed overhead of 10 cents a mile because, I would be an independent. So I technically really wouldn't need anything. I could just park it for where I'm signed on at. But I put 10 cents a mile for a chunk of land to be able to park it on so that I could, live in it and work on it, right? And that's with nothing on it. Now, mind you, I'm a state certified mechanic, brothers. Like, I've changed transmissions outside before. I've done it. You can do it. It fucking sucks, but you can work on trucks outside. I would just need a place to keep all my tools and, be able to do it, right? So I put 10 cents a mile on that. That's $1,100 a month. So just with that, and I know that leaves out some stuff, right? I know that does, but that's kind of like your main shit, right? And mind you, this doesn't... one thing I didn't calculate in here that I should have, because I bet it's kind of huge, is deadhead miles. Because all the companies I've been working for over the last couple years, year and a half, it seems like we've been doing 100, 200 mile fucking deadhead runs. So that shit adds up quick, on the fuel there, right? So that puts you at an operating cost of $20,000, $20,380 a month, basically, right? Now you take your profit on that. Let's just do a piss bag low margin of $1.85 a mile, which is happening, That puts you at $20,720. Now mind you, this ain't paying a driver. You see what I'm saying? So I make what, $300 that month? Nah, ain't gonna work. So then you go to $2.25 a mile, which they're saying is the average right now, which is still pretty fucking low, man. That brings you to $25,200, right? And let's say I do have all this figured high, because I do a little bit. Basically, in a nutshell, what would happen right there, I would make exactly what I'm making as a fucking company driver. Like I said, this ain't talking about signing on with anybody. That's going to change the whole deal when they get back with me on that information, because that would lower all these costs, like I said. There's another one I didn't put in here is, what is it, like $4,000 to register these fuckers a year and shit like that? So that would break down, but $4,000 over a year on a monthly doesn't change it all that much. We're just trying to get an idea, but that puts me at, being better off as a company driver, especially like when I was working for MDT, or if I'm looking at this other milk place right now. So I might be able to get back into that, possibly go back to MDT one of these days when I get my shit together. But it also makes me realize I gotta straighten my life up a little bit and stop fucking around with these trucking companies so much, because I better watch my ass here, man. This shit's getting kind of tight. I got a little bit of money put back. I got quite a bit of money put back as just a regular person, but I need a job the same as everybody else, man. And I'm not really in very good standing at this company I'm at right now. I might not work here fucking tomorrow at this rate. So, right, you take those numbers, and then it makes your fucking head spin. Like, how do these companies even survive, man? Because when I was originally punching all these out, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stick it to the man, you know what I mean? I'm doing some numbers, and I'm like, I don't have office staff, I don't have cameras I gotta pay for, I don't have a maintenance shop I gotta pay for, I don't even have a house, so I don't got a mortgage or nothing. I'm gonna live in the truck. And I was like, that's how the American spirit is, that's what owner-operators are made of. You get out and you live in the truck, and I don't have all those expenses. And then I calculated the number, and I went, whoa, what the fuck? Then I calculated again, and I calculated again, and I was like, damn, that's right. So now let's jump into what we're looking at with these fucking companies that we're working for, man. Obviously, like mega carriers and all that got like tits and ass freight. Sometimes, mostly or whatever, right? And they just been around forever. I still don't understand how like Werner can get sued for 40 million here, 36 million there. Did you see that one? It's a fucking deaf guy suing for 36 million, man. So when you look at the companies, man, you put on like their office staff and shit and all the computers and electricity and all that shit, and this is probably kind of low. I don't know. 20 cents a mile, you add that, right? Their fixed overhead of, you know, their building and the parking lot and taxes and all that shit that they got to handle, 20 cents a mile, and then pay a fucking driver, because remember I said there ain't no driver being paid up here in my calculations. Just say 60 cents a mile on that. That fucking adds like an additional $11,200 in expenses per month for the company. That brings them up to like $31,580. No shit. I'm one of them people, man, I watch all these news articles and shit, and I'm like, oh, they're always being all negative, and I really like would like to make this channel more positive, you know what I'm saying? I try, dude. Like, I go on FreightWaves or wherever I'm looking at, and I want to find like a fucking good story and be able to come on here and tell you guys like everything's gonna be all right. Which on that, the market is turning around. The bubble popped, you know, the tender rejections going up, the volumes are going up and shit. It's not gonna be a huge increase from what I see, because there's still a lot of capacity, you know, and it's just gonna take a minute. I don't think anything's great, I'll tell you that. But it's hard for me to find anything positive, man, because trucking just kind of sucks, don't it? But it really makes you wonder, like right now with everything going on, how there's not more bankruptcies going on out there. I don't know. I don't understand how any of that shit works. So being that I don't understand how any of that shit works, it's probably not a good idea for me to become an owner-operator or independent at this point in time, right? Do we all agree with that? So if you guys know where I can get a fucking job, you know, hit me up in the emails. We're all having the same struggle. I mean, I can get a job, obviously, but I want a good one, damn it. You know, this one wouldn't be all that horrible if, you know, I didn't piss them off. I said some shit that pissed them off, and I'm not real sure if they're going to be able to sustain. They're not very solid. So we will see what happens with that. So tune in tonight for the live stream, because I always want to hear what you guys got to say and all that, and I'll try to figure out how to do it, and you guys can help me be more technologically advanced on this whole deal.
Take me far away past these mediocre days. I need to stop this burn.